So, Jared, last week was Thanksgiving here in the U.S.
Yes. Yes, it was.
So, what's your favorite thing about Thanksgiving? What are you thankful for about Thanksgiving?
Family, or just spending time with family. Good food.
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite food? Thanksgiving
specifically.
Mm-hmm.
It's not turkey, even though I do like turkey, but I would say stuffing if it's Stouffer's stuffing. If it's homemade, get that out of here. It's never as good as Stouffer's.
You know, I've got that. It's not my favorite thing, but it's one of those things I have to have the cranberry sauce from the can.
Yes.
And not any chunks in it. Just the jelly like substance that is cranberry sauce in quotes. Cause
yes, I agree. That's the.
And it's like I always have to eat one slice.
Yeah, I do the same thing. We don't eat a lot, just a little bit.
Yeah, and it's like I never eat it any other time.
Nope.
But something about that, and it like when it bleeds in a little bit with the turkey, and you're like, you get
just a little tiny bit.
Yeah, a tiny bit on the turkey.
Yeah. I mean, everything you load up on Thanksgiving, everything is just ends up getting mixed together at some point on your plate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I will also give, because I think it's underrated, for kind of a dessert, is ambrosia, which a lot of people probably don't even know, because I didn't know for the longest time that's what it's called. But it's the oranges with the marshmallows and the what else normally in it? Coconut. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. Very Thanksgiving thing. Like, it doesn't seem like people make it many other times.
Right.
But I actually really like that too. Sometimes they add cherries in it. It's nice. But I like those little canned oranges.
The mandarin oranges.
Yeah, the mandarin oranges. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's kind of like, it's not full dessert. Because like dessert, you think of pies.
No, it's
and,
fruit.
You know.
It's not dessert.
There you go. Exactly. I always eat it in between. Do your food, you have that, and then you have dessert. Yeah.
I haven't had that. I guess I haven't had that in a while.
Really?
I mean, they don't have it at our family.
I see it. I see it like, I don't know. It seems to be a Thanksgiving thing, at least from my experience.
But I don't disagree. I just like I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah, it's not really like I don't really see it any other time either. It's not that popular, but I don't know. Yeah. So underrated, I think.
Hey, welcome back to Screen Time TV. I'm your host, Josh. Jared, history lives in us whether we learn it or not.
Yes.
Wise words. Wise words.
Wise words from Kier.
All right, this is my co-host, Jared.
Josh, what I just did was something I knew you could handle and grow from. It was very painful for me. I hope that you'll let it help you.
Right. What is she? A stapler? No. What did she throw at him?
It was her mug.
It's a mug. Yeah. That's what it's. The mug. It's the mug. I was trying to. I knew she. Yeah, it's something she threw up.
Just her delivery of that.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing.
So great. So. All right. So today we are discussing which those quotes are from. Severance Season 1, Episode 3. But before that, we will do some based or waste.
Yes.
We got a new scoreboard here, so that we can keep track of how many I miss.
For the visual listeners.
Or how many I get right, whichever way we do.
Yeah.
Before that, though, we talk a little bit about other things we've been watching. So what have you been watching? I got a kind of longer list again. All
right, good. I don't have a whole lot. I have 3 total.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you should go first.
Well, the three of things that we probably both watched.
One of them is Dune. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But the other 2 are probably stuff you didn't watch. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah. What do you want to start with? Actually, also, we're gonna. feel like this is distracting. We'll bring this out in a little bit.
Okay. All right. So let's start with I watched couple of the one of these those Hallmark type films from Christmas, but it's on Netflix. Our Little Secret.
Okay.
Stars Lindsay Lohan.
Of course. That makes sense. What is the Our Little Secret?
So our premise is that her main character, she had a best friend growing up, and then they kind of dated, but then he proposed and she was like not ready to get married because she was going off, got a dream job in another country. Eventually she, I guess, moves back to the States, living in the big city, dating another guy. She's going home this year for Christmas to meet this guy's parents.
Okay.
When she shows up, the old friend that she hasn't talked to in over a decade is also there because he's dating this guy's sister. And it's his first time meeting the family as well. And so then they pretend like they don't know each other because she doesn't want them.
Okay.
And that's their little secret.
Okay. So a typical Hallmark movie.
I would say it was above average for these kind of films. Okay. It was actually not bad. It was kind of funny.
Well, Netflix is hit or miss. You never know with TV shows and movies, but okay. Anyone else in it? Just Lindsay Lohan? Did you recognize anyone else?
There are a few other people recognizable that I can't think of their names. So, but nobody like major.
All right.
And then let's see. So, watched Nutcrackers.
Oh yeah,
this is
Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller movie. Yeah.
That's the only reason why I'd heard of it because I was like, oh, he hasn't
done a comedy in a while, and
he hasn't done any movie in a while. Because we're talking about Severance.
Yeah.
He's directing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So so that's why I watched it because I was like, oh, this could be funny, and the trailer kind of makes it look funny. He's basically.
Is this also Netflix or is this?
No, this was on Hulu.
Hulu. Okay.
He basically inherits 4 boys. His sister and her husband die. Okay. And he's some kind of contractor, big commercial contractor doing stuff in the city or something. Real estate, something. And because he constantly talking to his boss on the phone and trying to but he has to go out the country where his sister and her husband were living on this farm with these 4 kids and homeschooling him and all this stuff. And of course, they kind of protected them from society because they wanted to let him be a little more free. And so he's dealing with that.
Got to be careful with those crazy sheltered homeschool kids.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I know. They're a little wild.
Yeah.
So
only a few people even understand that we said that.
So the thing is, this is really not that funny.
I was worried about that, yeah.
But it's also it's not trying to be. That's the thing. The trailer tries to and there's a few moments that they used in the trailer to try to set that up. But really it's supposed to be, it ends up being much more feel good. He ends up loving the kids and they helps him put on the one of the sons wrote his own version of the Nutcracker, and so they end up doing this whole performance to save the old dance studio that their mom used to teach at, and blah blah blah. And so
the trailer was more kind of showed it as a comedy, though. Is what you're saying?
They cut a lot of those moments because there are those moments when he first starts interacting with the kids and he shows up there, that where guy doesn't live on a farm, he's from the city, and then the kids are kind of messing with him some. So there was a few moments like that, but
okay,
but it was fine. It wasn't bad, but it was partly I was disappointed just because I was what I went into it expecting
Right.
to be more laughs than I was hoping, and it didn't end up being that funny because it was going more for like feel good drama.
Yeah. Okay. I will not watch it then.
Yeah.
There's too many just fine things.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I feel like we've talked about this before, but it's like, you always want something you're going to watch to be good, but it's like, if it's not going to be that, then have it be bad. Like, just fine. Sometimes I feel like it's almost worse at times.
Can be.
It's like, it's just there then. There's not really much to talk about because it's so like right there in the middle. I don't know.
Yeah.
At least if it's bad, you can
Make fun of it.
Yeah.
All right. And then one more film.
Okay.
Sweethearts. This was on Max, the one to watch for HBO.
Please sponsor us because we already say your whole slogan. I have not heard of this.
So this has the daughter from Mad Men. I always forget her real name.
Oh, yep.
That actress. Of course, she's like in her 20s now, whatever. She's playing a college student.
Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Right, that's what she was in that.
Another big thing that I remember she was in.
Yeah. She is pretty much the only person I recognize in this, I think. I'm trying to... Yeah, pretty much. This premise is she and her best friend, which is a guy, I don't remember his name, they're still their freshman year of college. They both went to the same college, both still dating their high school boyfriend, girlfriend.
Okay.
And then they're like missing out on all these things that they don't feel like they could go to because they don't want to cheat on their boyfriend / girlfriend. And so then they realize they're missing out on the whole college experience. And then they decide when they go home for Thanksgiving, they're both going to break up with their significant other.
Right.
And that's kind of the premise. Things go, and so this was things go crazy. I think the first act of this was pretty good and funny. Second act was not bad and still funny, but the third act is kind of, and I know they definitely go places you don't think it's going to go, and they don't like, not spoilers, but like they don't get together after they break up with because they kind of lead it like you're like, because you think, because that's like the obvious, right? They grew up as best friends, and so they're going to end up together.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't go there. So, which I think is good. And there's a few other things, other side character arcs that are a little different too. And so I think that was interesting, but just kind of the last bit, like kind of loses steam and just isn't as funny. And, but it wasn't bad. That out of the three that we just went through, I'd watch this one for the other two.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know. I'm assuming you have a few shows you're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Also. Okay.
Yeah. Those were the only films. The other ones are 4 TV shows. Okay.
Well, I'll start with just one because I'm not going to have much to say about this one. My other one, I'm going to have a lot more to say about.
Okay.
But I started rewatching Black Mirror because, especially the earlier seasons of it, I have not seen in a very long time.
Yeah.
And I think there's a new season coming.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to say, and I think we're living in an episode.
Well, I am going to mention that. It's crazy. So, and this is all on Netflix. This show, first season, almost came out 15 years ago now.
That's crazy.
Which is crazy. Yeah. And so there's only 3 episodes in the first season. I watched all those. I'm on to season 2. And I want to say the 3rd episode especially. Although some with the 2nd as well. But there are moments even in this first season that I'm like, yeah, this is like very close to now. Like some of the stuff that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically at the 3rd episode. But this show is just...
Which one that one is?
So the third one is everyone basically gets implanted into their eyes a way to record
Yep.
everything. You remember that one?
Yep.
That's, I think, the best one of the three. Well, I don't know. The second one's really good too.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, like that one in particular was like,
I remember that first
crazy.
came out, and I was like, when I would tell people to watch, I'm like, skip the first episode.
Yeah, the first one's not as good.
It's also really weird. The one with that's the one with the pig and the right
And the
president like or the whatever prime minister or whatever.
Yeah.
But the it was just like you go back and watch it eventually once you kind of know what the other stuff is, but you don't want that to be your like, because then you might not watch anymore.
Yeah, but that's the good thing is you can kind of tell people to just start with whatever one.
They're one-offs, yeah.
Yep, they're all like little mini movies. The second one is really great too, where it's kind of a dystopian future that they don't really get into it. They do a little bit of world building, but it's like everyone is on bikes making credits. Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming that's how they're generating power. They don't really go into that part as much, but that's the story of that one is really great too. Cause there's a whole another aspect to it. But yeah, so anyway, even in these first three, I was like, man, I remembered these earlier seasons, especially being so good.
Yeah.
And it still is like really, really creative. Just these stories that they did, like I said, and it being almost 15 years now. And even especially that third episode with like the implants always into your eye, recording everything. Mm-hmm. And you can just recall it anytime, anything that was like said or heard or seen. And it's just, it's just crazy how closer and closer we get to all that. Because I feel like with the new seasons of the show, because I think we are getting a new one early next year, new season. They get more into that, but it's almost like sometimes it's like very near future stuff. Sometimes it's a little more dystopian or like far future, which I like too. It's cool. I just almost always a really great premise in a lot of these.
So do you consider this sci-fi?
No, I don't. This is not sci-fi. Do you consider this sci-fi?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, of course. No, it's not sci-fi.
How's it categorized on Netflix?
Oh, I'm sure it's categorized that way. There's too many things that are categorized as sci-fi that shouldn't be in general. Okay. Same with fantasy. Sci-fi and fantasy is almost a tag on every show, and it bothers me. Like as a genre of it, anyway.
Right.
Anyway, but yeah, I'm very excited to keep going. Even from the start of the first season, they've always gotten really great actors to be in it, which is I love that they do, because it's also like it's a small commitment. So it's like they can get all kinds of people for this. Yep. So the second episode especially, Daniel Kaluuya, I think it's how you pronounce his last name. He's in the second episode. Amazing actor that is in almost every Jordan Peele movie now. Great actor. The main actress in that episode too was really good too. I recognized her in some other things, but yeah, just really, really interesting going back through these, because it's been a long time, and it's still really great, but also scary because we keep inching closer to Black Mirror in our lives. Yeah. So that's it for that one.
Okay.
You can, go into some of your TV stuff, because I have just one more before we get to Dune.
Okay.
So,
I finished Outer Banks season 4.
Okay. How is it?
It was solid.
Okay.
I think it was interesting. I think the biggest thing, they set it up and they already confirmed they're making a season 5. And if
going.
I would bet, it looks like they're going to Lisbon, Portugal for
that's cool.
season 5. Yeah. So they were in Morocco and like in the tail end of like last couple episodes of
It's just the thing is though, it's called Outer Banks.
Well, they started there.
I know, but it's like
and
at
this one
some
they're
point,
there, and that's where their home is. But
yeah,
like, yeah, I know what you're saying.
just at some point you might want to, I don't know, make it a new show. Call it something else.
Change it, yeah. But then they would lose all the things.
I know they would lose all. Yeah, I know it's not good marketing wise, but yeah.
Silo?
No
Silo. All
still
right.
behind.
I'll just say episode 3. Yeah, just move some things along, and nothing crazy. Just moving stuff along a little bit. Again, it was good, but nothing major happened.
Okay.
So
the first 3 so far, I mean, I know the show's still good. I only watched the first one, but still kind of slower than, I guess, it seems.
I feel like, so episode 1, like I said, we talked about, really liked it. It was just setting up and being like, and exciting, because you're like, she went into a new silo. And then of course you get the backstory of like how that everyone basically died in that silo. But then at the end there is somebody still in here. That's like a lot of new, right, stuff. Then these 2 episodes have been like setting some of that stuff up, setting up that dynamic, her talking to this guy, and then also like the stuff that's happening back in her silo.
All right.
I think, kind of just getting stuff in place that then like what's going to happen the rest of it, but like nothing significant, big step in story happened yet. But I don't think I would really expect it to, unless you're like really condensing things. But it's an episode thing. Like, yeah, it's about right.
Yeah.
Probably next episode 4, there should be something happen. So
okay. Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I'll still watch it. It's just I don't know what we talked about, like comparing it to the books that it's based on. I wish it would go a little faster. It seemed like it's a little slow at times. First season was that way too, I thought.
Yeah, it was. So what's you got? You said before we get to do.
Oh yeah. So my other one, this is one I really want to talk about. This just came out. This is called The Agency. It's on Paramount.
I have this kind of.
Oh, did you watch it?
I knew I did not watch it, but I have this hey, I should check it out.
Okay, yeah, I was very much looking forward to this show. I'll just say immediately, the show is sick. I think it's awesome. It's based on a French show that I think was on Netflix. I want to say I never watched it. Called The Bureau. The French show.
Le Bureau.
Yeah, exactly.
Le Bureau.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it is. Yeah. But this is, I mean, it's a big deal just because of who's in it, the cast.
Which is why I want to check. One of the reasons.
Yeah, and that plays a huge part in it, because they all are, their performances in this are really great. But so Michael Fassbender is one of our main actors in it. Always love him. He is so good in this. A little bit of vibes of his character in The Killer, which is the newest Fincher movie. A little bit of that, because this is a spy show. And Jeffrey Wright also in it. But the other big one is Richard Gere. Very surprised by this. So people write in, let me know if this is not correct, but I think this is a big deal, because as far as I know, the Michael Fassbender and Richard Gere have never been in a TV show. Or if they had, it was like the very beginning of their career. Either way, for either one of them, I don't really know of any that they've been in. Like, these are both big movie stars.
Yeah. I feel like Richard Gere was in something recently.
Maybe. I don't know. Not that I know of.
That was TV. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So great. There's a few other people that I recognize in it too. There's even some people that you see for like one scene because they do a lot of not Zoom. It's not Zoom, but video calls, and yeah, they get some people to just be on that. I guess it's easy to film. You can just get a famous person in there and just a video call scene. Yeah, really great, especially Michael Fassbender. I just think is he's just very compelling in this and really interesting character. And also want to mention first 2 episodes, which first 2 came out together, and then it's going to be weekly. But the first 2 episodes are directed by Joe Wright, who did I think, but you would know more about this, the 2005 Pride and Prejudice movie. He directed that one, which arguably that's the best one, right?
I mean, it's not like tons
I know
of
you
versions.
really like. I know you
I
really like that one.
Yeah, I like that one. There's like some TV versions that are.
That's
I
true.
don't know if there's like a film, other film.
I think there's at least one of them. But yeah, I guess you're right. It's normally was like a mini series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, so he directed these first 2. He's a good director, and yeah, I think what he did with these first 2 is really great. This is a show I'm like looking forward to very much every week. I think it's really interesting. One of my favorite shows, like just brand new shows that have come out in a while. So everyone check it out. You should check it out. Josh, it's awesome.
It's on the list.
Yeah.
I'll have to move it up just so we can discuss.
You should move it up.
Speaking of good directors,
Okay.
Star Wars Skeleton Crew.
Right. Yeah, I have not had a chance to check this out
Didn't
yet.
check it out?
No, I didn't.
Well, I'll just say I really enjoyed episode 1 and 2.
Okay, good.
I think it was
You never know with Star Wars.
yeah, I think it was it's definitely more geared towards kids. Like it's PG and it's the leads are kids, but it's good. It's good. Very Goonie-esque vibes in the Star Wars.
Cool.
universe.
That's what I was going to ask. Does it have the Amblin?
Yeah, it
type
kind
of
of has that feel, and it's funny. It's kind of lighthearted, but also the world building is great. Everything's practical. Like it's all the different aliens,
Awesome.
all the things are practical. Yeah, it's just all around like feeling good. I mean, we'll see where it goes, but like it's a good start.
So it still feels like Star Wars?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. Good. Cool. Is Jude Law in it right away, or? I was interested how much he's going to be in the show.
Oh, I'm sure he's going to be in a lot.
Okay.
But he is technically in it right away, I think.
Okay.
But that's like speculation. But then
Oh.
you don't see him for a while, and then he shows up towards the end of episode 2 as well. And that
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. How, I know you mentioned to me, not on the pod, but you mentioned to me the directors for this show are really great.
Yes.
How many episodes total do you know that this season's going to be?
I don't know. That is a good question.
I do like that you mentioned there's a lot of practical elements in this. That's always good, especially for Star Wars.
8 episodes.
Okay.
But
That's standard Star Wars.
yeah,
I think
but
mostly 8.
also the John Watts, who directs the first episode and the last episode, I think, also help like create the show, right? And along with the guy that basically wrote all the Spider-Man movies with him, and because he directed the the 3 recent ones with Tom Holland, and they also did something else with the kids, but then David Lowery directs 2 episodes, and then Daniel Kwan, and then of course Jake Schreier, Lee Isaac Chung, and Daniel Scheinert, the Daniels, and then Bryce Dallas Howard.
The Daniels.
The Daniels. But yeah. But yeah, the guy that did David Lowery did The Green Knight.
Oh, I never saw that movie.
And Pete's Dragon, the remake.
Oh, the remake.
Live action remake.
Okay, was that good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, never saw it. I mean, I like the original, but all right, cool. Well, that's good. People that are somewhat familiar with this type of feel and vibe that the show is going for.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. So you have hope for Star Wars then?
Yeah, and it's
at this moment.
Yeah, and it's also I was to say, like, it's almost like the yin to the yang of like Andor. Andor's so serious and adult, and like, which I think is fantastic.
Right.
This is like the complete opposite of that, but also in a good way. Like in a good way.
Okay.
I would say that's It
awesome.
was fun. Yeah.
I will check it out. Yeah.
All right. So then, last thing, Dune.
Yeah.
Prophecy.
Episode
3.
Yeah.
So what'd you think of this episode?
I think I'm finally out on this show.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. It just doesn't feel like Dune to me. And I liked this one, I think, the least out of the 3.
Okay. I like this one the best.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I felt like this episode finally got interesting.
I mean, at points, but like I don't know, like.
Plus, you got Robert Baratheon. Come on.
That is true.
How can you go wrong with that?
It is funny, like the Game of Thrones comparisons in general to this show, and then they're like, "Oh, let's get one of the first people that was on Game of Thrones."
The lady playing the mom.
Okay.
You probably never, because you didn't. I don't know if you were. She was one of the people in the moms in Bridgerton, but not the Bridgerton family. One of the other.
Yeah.
But it took me a second because I'm like, man, she looks really familiar.
Yeah. So you like this one the most of the 3?
Yeah. Well, I feel like it was actually engaging story wise. Like, it was interesting to see like the character development of the sisters, both of them, like their backstory. More like, I think they should have like more led with this.
See, I think the backstory stuff was too much to me in this episode.
See, I like that stuff in this one.
Okay.
I mean, the only reason that, like, I know why they didn't, because then they're like cutting back and forth to moments in the present, and then of course where they leave it at the end of the episode, where you're building up in this episode, you're building up why she has so much disdain for the rest of her family, and then she has to go show up and talk to her uncle. Of course, that's when it ends. But so I know why they kind of, why they put it in this order, but from a overall storytelling. But like, to me, like this, if we've got some more of this backstory in the beginning, like to feel like you care about this, because like from this episode now I care about those 2 sisters.
Yeah.
And then you start present day. I think I would have been more bought into what was happening with them present day. But because they started with mostly, other than a little bit of flashback, present day. So that's just me. But
I think that's the other thing I don't particularly like about this show is that almost all the characters I'm just not interested in as much as I should be.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'm trying to be, but it's, to me, it's just, besides which actually I don't even think we even got him in this episode. Desmond, what's his name?
Did we not see him in this?
Or I don't think so. Not in this one.
Yeah, you're right.
But he's, we talked about before, he's the most mysterious, we don't know or how he got this power. I guess he got it from Shai Hulud, potentially, but
yeah, but then we also get we see finally the genetic history thing, whatever that they.
I do really like the visuals of like that. Whenever they're in that, did they explain what it was? That dream type of
world
or whatever state of mind that they're in. Do they explain
agony,
that more?
the agony.
Yeah.
So they call it, and it's
right.
Well, it's like you accessing your ancestry,
Yeah.
like history through the DNA.
Okay.
That's in you. Like it's like claiming that in your DNA is all the information of what your ancestors have gone through and know. But then I guess evidently, if you're not with the proper training, you can get lost in there and never come back out, which is what happened to the one character.
Yep. Yeah, I really like anytime we've seen the shots of that, I think are really interesting.
Yeah.
But so like, for instance, so a lot of the flashback we get in this, I think they said it was on the Harkonnen home planet, which is Gidi Prime in the movies, but they didn't say Gidi Prime.
Yeah, well, it was like one of the notes, like the Harkonnens were banished to this like other planet. So I guess at some point they get off, and then you kind of
that's true.
But and then of course the uncle, he's on like obviously they're just like a I don't know, almost like a embassy or something maybe at the main planet where the emperor is, but
with those flashbacks, it to me it just like it didn't feel like any planet like that. Like it felt almost like a fantasy show in that setting.
Well, right. Well, I mean, so yes, because I mean that was the funny thing. Like they're on a snow planet. They're like they're all in the snow, and they look kind of dressed like Vikings, and or just straight out of like Game of Thrones. Like, hey, can we borrow your costumes for for the wall? Like some people at the wall, and then of course you throw in Robert Baratheon in there as well. Doesn't help. And then, but then when they were with the Atreides family, and she's like murdering them all, they're like they're on a horseback and they're going to go hunt a bull.
Yes.
And it's like, oh yeah, you look like, and they're in like green forest, and
it just doesn't feel like Dune to me. But I know I'm sure there's potentially areas and planets that look like that in the Dune universe. Like I'm sure there's plenty of that in the books.
What's with I don't know if it is the same planet, because I don't pay attention if they mention it. Yeah. But I mean, that's how, the home planet for the Atreides family, like, looked like that. It was green and lush, and we just see it briefly in the beginning, because then they all move to Arrakis, because they're going to have to manage the spice.
But it still looked, because I remember that, because all the shots in Dune are incredible, but like, I remember that in Dune Part 1, when Paul Atreides is walking and like kind of roaming around outside. Like that imagery was awesome. And like, I don't know why I'm blanking on the name, but I know, the planet, the home planet of the Atreides is really great.
There's budget constraints. That's the reason.
Yes.
But I'm saying like that terrain is the same. Like it's basically the same terrain, just, hey, they're not out on these like cliffs or whatever, and like all these things that they show in the film. They're like back in the woods at a little encampment, getting ready to do a ritual of hunting the ox or whatever. Mm-hmm.
It also still, even in the third episode, something I can't like fully explain, that it still feels low budget at times, and not just like like we got to do this smaller scale for this area or this scene. I think it's sometimes with the acting with certain characters. It's just, I don't know. It just feels low budget to me.
Wow.
I don't know. Anyway, I don't know if I'm going to, because we're now, also there doesn't seem to be like enough happening. Like, yes, we get a lot more with the sisterhood, which I know is like our main focus point for the show. But this is half of the season already.
Right. So that brings into question one thing: is there going to be another season?
I don't know. Do we know how this is done so far?
Viewers? I have no idea.
Yeah, me neither.
But it's because it's definitely not moving around. It hasn't done a lot. Like there hasn't been. There's the backstory set up. There's a lot of setup, but like so like if they just kind of move and then they're like, oh yeah, we're making another season, then like you're like, okay, that makes sense.
Give you more time for that. Yeah,
but
I don't know. And it's also like, this is big shoes to fill because right before this was The Penguin, and this is like the now flagship 9 o'clock Sunday night HBO show, that they always have.
Right.
So that puts some pressure on it as well.
And The Penguin was such a good example of making a show that's still in the world of film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was the prime spot for plenty of other great HBO shows, including Game of Thrones, especially when Game of Thrones was at its peak.
Yeah.
So,
well, we'll see. I mean, yeah, I guess.
Well, you can keep me informed because I don't know if I'm going to, maybe I will, of the next episode. Man. But if I don't, you can
I'm surprised.
Tell me about, I am too. This is what, I'm so bummed about it because I love the Dune universe so much, and I was so excited to get into a TV show in the universe. An actual, like, well, we won't get into that argument, the hard sci-fi debate, but this is actual hard sci-fi. I don't know, maybe it's not to you, but it is to me.
Okay.
We said it before, we're going to do a whole episode, the great sci-fi debate. We're going to bring people on too, sci-fi experts, and see what they have to say.
Is that Dad?
Yeah, it's Dad. Yeah, he is the sci-fi expert.
Yeah.
Dad's response would be just something like, sci-fi is science fiction. That's all he would say. He wouldn't elaborate on it. Mm-hmm. You just, it when you see it.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Who do you guys want from me?
Yeah. I just want him on the pod. It'd just be so funny to see how he responds to things.
Yeah. Maybe when he retires.
Yeah. Maybe.
All right. Well, that's
was that everything?
It's the end of our what we've been watching segment.
Okay.
It's time for the next segment.
Yes. It is time for Based or Waste.
It's time for Based or Waste.
Welcome back to Based or Waste. We are doing movies.
Okay.
This is based on Rotten Tomatoes, the audience score of a particular movie or TV show. So we're going to do 10 like we normally have been doing. I'm going to say in this instance a movie, and Josh is going to tell me if it's good or bad, if it's based or waste.
Don't forget to play along
yes.
At home.
Yeah. Let us know how many you got right or wrong.
Yeah. See if you can beat me.
Yeah. Well, as of right now, that's not that hard.
Lately, it's not hard.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a perfect score at some point.
You did. I think you have twice.
Okay.
I want to say. I feel like there's at least 2 times that you've gotten a perfect score.
All right,
but just not so great lately. But we'll see. Maybe you will redeem yourself.
Yeah.
Like I said, you only have a few weeks left for the year to redeem yourself. Yeah. So we're still workshopping this whiteboard, but I'll just tally them, the ones you actually do get right.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. This first one, we're going to start with one that you mentioned recently, so you'll be familiar with this. My Old Ass.
I was just talking about this today.
Oh, yeah?
Recommend it to somebody because it was a good one. It's a good one. I'll say
Did
based.
the audience think it was good?
Yeah, I say based.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is an 89.
I can't see people really hating on this.
Yeah. All right, cool. There we go.
Can't hate on the ass, right?
That's right. Never want to hate on that.
You gotta make the tallies bigger than that so you can see it on camera.
Do they need to see it on camera?
I don't know.
I'm just doing it as a reference for me.
Okay.
But
all right.
we can let everyone know. I don't know how many people write in and let us know if you actually watch this or just listen to this. I'm curious the difference.
Somebody watches it, or you mean like have it up and don't really watch, like they just YouTube.
Yeah, or just have it on the side,
yeah.
or
yeah, that's true. A lot of people like bring YouTube stuff up and just listen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, I want to know if anyone watches and listens to the podcast, if they actually purposely
Do both.
Do both. That would be very interesting. Write in, let us know. Or
all right.
comment.
Let's so one.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
Next one, the piano lesson. Are you familiar with this?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to say based.
I forgot the action. It's Denzel Washington's son.
Yeah, I'm going to say based.
Yeah. I want to watch this. I haven't seen it. Yes. 63. Okay, nice. All right, next one is Blitz. It's an Apple movie.
Yep, I'm going to say based.
All right. No, this is a waste. It's a 49. Unfortunate.
Okay.
This is a pretty big director too, right? That did this, and I don't know.
They've been promoting the heck out of it.
Oh yeah. Well, Apple can do that. They can.
But I was just like, well, people probably like it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess it's 50-50.
I mean, their track record hasn't been good. I mean, Wolf's was, I think, also a waste.
Yeah, no, the film department has been struggling.
That's what I mean, yeah.
The film side of Apple TV Plus has been struggling.
Mm-hmm.
The TV side has been kicking some butt.
Yes.
Some old ass. Kicking some old ass.
That's right. All right. Next. Yeah. We Live in Time.
Based.
Yes. 83. So you're familiar with this one too?
Yeah, I know what it is. Yeah.
I do want to watch this too. I mean, good cast.
Mm-hmm. Florence Pugh, right?
Florence Pugh, Andrew Garfield.
Mm-hmm.
Although I feel like it's a movie that might get me in the feels.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like it's a movie designed to make you cry.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next, we have Saturday Night. I just talked about this movie.
Yeah. I'll say based for audience score.
Yep. 84.
All right.
All right. So far, pretty good.
4 out of 5. Not
4
bad.
out of 5. All right. This next one, I don't know why.
4 out of 5 dentists recommend.
Was that last dentist? I want to know his thoughts also. This one, again, I go to trending, so it's whatever's trending right now. This one, I feel like it's an older movie. I'm not sure why it's trending right now. Maybe it's new. Father Figures. Do you know what this is? I just recognize a lot of famous people in it.
I was like, what do I? It's up in like the top 10 on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
So it must have either just showed up on Netflix here. I'm going to say based.
All right. No, this is a waste. This is a 25. This is really bad.
So why is it trending?
I don't know. Yeah, but the thing is, Netflix.
Yeah.
As long as it's in the top 10, then it's just
people watch it.
Yeah, I mean, Netflix still has they have the biggest user base.
They have a lot of influence, that top 10.
Yeah, seriously. That's the thing, is that anything in the top 10 is going to be trending on Rotten Tomatoes and everywhere else too, not just Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Gladiator 2. I really want to see
I say based.
Yes. 84. All right. These are progressively getting smaller as I'm writing them. I don't know why.
Well, you also don't do the line back.
Oh, yeah, I need to do the line. Yeah, that's my bad.
Yeah, once you get to 5. Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, my OCD is going to kick in now with this whiteboard in a big way. All right, 3 more.
Yeah.
Wicked.
Based.
Yeah, this is a big deal right now.
Yeah.
96.
Yeah. Lots of people like
Very good.
liking The Wicked.
Yeah. I mean, I want to see it. I
don't like musicals.
No, I know. I really like the music in this musical, just in general, just from all the times that it's been done. All right. Red One.
I'm I'm gonna say based.
This is such a weird movie, and like
Actually, I want to see this movie.
Yeah, I mean, it could go either way. I just like it's weird. It's like The Rock. It's just a weird cast. The Rock and
Well,
I know I'm blanking on
so
his
you
name.
got Captain America guy.
Yes,
And then J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons. Yeah, it's just such a random.
Why can't I think of his name?
I know, I can't either. It's a
Chris.
It's a Chris.
Chris.
One of the Chris's.
Not Chris Pine.
Everyone's
not Chris
screaming.
Pratt.
Yeah, everyone's screaming at us right now.
Chris Evans.
There it is. We got there. Chris Evans. Okay. All right. So what'd you guess for this one?
Based.
Yeah, 90. Which is very high
Mm-hmm.
for a Christmas movie. Is it? Also, is that the code name for Santa? Is that why it's called that? Is that what the deal with the name Red One? Or
Yeah, it's like Air Force One, but
right. Okay.
yeah, I think.
Right, because it's about Santa
Mm-hmm.
getting kidnapped or
Yep.
going missing.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, last one. We might have done this one already, but makes sense why it's trending. Dune Part 2. This is easy for you.
Based. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, and I'm very happy it's sitting even right now at a 95, as it should be.
Really hope this pulls in a few Oscars.
I hope it pulls in a lot of Oscars because it deserves it. All right. So that's it. Let's see. Let's tally these up. So you got 8 right. So
Mhm.
you did way better this week. Only got 2 wrong. So that's good. Good job, Josh.
Thank you.
You're slowly redeeming yourself.
Well, as the pressure's on now, we're actually keeping score.
Yeah.
Keeping tabs.
It makes it way more serious.
Yeah. Things are on the line. I don't know what things, but things are on the line.
Something's on the line.
My reputation.
Your reputation. Yeah. All right. Well, that has been Based or Waste. Tune in next week. Probably back to TV again.
Let us know how you guys did.
Yes.
See if you beat me.
Yes.
All right. So let's get into the feature presentation. Severance, season 1, episode 3, in Perpetuity.
Perpetuity. Yes.
Mark takes the team on a field trip, but Helly continues to rebel. A deteriorating Petey struggles to tell Mark about Lumen's misdeeds.
Mm.
All right. So how you feeling about this now?
I like I said, I'm going to say the same thing every week. It's just a amazing show that I just am just fully love and am engaged with, like, through the whole episode every time. One of my favorites. What about you?
Yeah. No, it's such a tightly intentional story. Like, it's like just giving you enough new information, enough things happening that it doesn't feel like they're treading water.
Nope.
Or setting things up. It seems like things progress every episode, and so it's very engaging.
It's a perfect amount of the mystery ratio that they're
doing such a good job, like introducing new possible mysteries, or just new things you're like, what?
but not getting too overwhelmed or crazy to where, like, it feels like a mess. It's
And then you're not confused completely because you're slowly getting a little bit of information here and there.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, let's get into it.
So before we get into it, I just I didn't do this last week, but my other just favorite my potentials for openers
The quotes
for this, is I have 3 others. So I have you look trim, Josh. I wonder if you were food poisoned. Also, Josh, why are you standing weird? Stand normal. And then, Josh, were you about to bed sit?
It's great. It's two of those are from Irving.
Yeah.
Because he's just like the
he's
things
so
he
good.
says.
Yeah, it's the thing he says are
John
just,
Turturro is
oh man.
yeah, fantastic.
And it's funny now, like watching this again after seeing
Seeing him so much
a lot
in the
in
Coen
like
Brothers
Cohen's, yeah, and
films.
like just his range, like it's
'Cause he- yeah,
so different in all those Coen Brothers movies
Yeah,
that he's
for
doing
sure.
here.
yeah, that's great. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so let's get into it. What are some of the things that stood out to you in this episode? Anything?
All mine are in order, so I don't know how.
Yeah, I think mine are in order too.
Okay.
I just, my first was like, oh, PD's glitching a lot.
Oh yeah.
Like almost like a computer glitch, but
Yeah. Yeah. My first thing is, so Mark asking Petey, so Petey's still in the bathroom and he's like, after giving him his bathrobe, he's like, hey, you need anything else? And then Petey's response is, yeah, I want you to stop crapping on this awesome robe. Cause
yeah.
it's just the way he said it too. Cause he's just like, yeah, he's like, this robe's weird.
My
Yeah.
brother-in-law gave it to me.
Yeah. And I agree with Petey. It's a pretty sick robe.
Yeah.
Very underrated too. We talked about him last week. The character of Petey and that actor, great job in this show.
That him, and then also the brother-in-law.
Oh, Rickon,
Yeah.
man, he is one of a kind for sure.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, because so the other note I kind of, it's funny. I was like, I can't remember if is the neighbor lady. She's just watching his house, and I'm like, does she know?
Miss Selvig,
Yeah. Does she know? I was like trying to remember in the moment if like she's aware outside of. And then we see later in the episode she definitely is, but
yeah.
she's on the phone with him like when she's in the basement. And,
Mm-hmm.
but I just in that first little bit of where she's just like staring at the house, and I'm like, I can't remember, is she severed too or not?
Right.
But.
Yeah. Well, and again, we're not going into future spoilers, not future
Right.
episode spoilers. But yeah, it's not completely clear if she's severed or not. She could technically be.
Yeah, we don't know, but like at least she's aware outside of it about things inside because she's on the phone with them.
Yes.
So, which is like right after that she goes to the basement.
Well, so where you're talking about like how much Petey's glitching out, at the beginning, those scene transitions with the overlap, Petey's scene,
Yes.
his past, and it's so good how they do it.
Yeah.
And how they blend them too. It's amazing.
100%. Yeah.
I would love to see behind the scenes of how they do that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
It's
like
so cool.
where like the cubicle drops down and then like he's like, yeah, so good. Which your comment was from, like, why are you standing weird? Like the whole
Dylan, yeah.
just like the way that whole thing was done, like where Milchek brings it in and he's like, well, you need to give the announcements, and then he's like stands up there like he's addressing a whole crowd and it's like 3 people.
Yep. Do you think before he did his speech, do you think he asked himself if he could lead today? Ask yourself.
I'm sure he did earlier that day.
Yeah.
When he got
and
in.
acknowledged the cure paint or
Poster?
painting verbally or non-verbally or however it is.
Yeah. Verbal or non-verbal.
Yeah.
Thought that was funny.
Yes.
Again, like we keep talking about this, but like forgot how funny the show is. Even in like the serious moments, like there's just a humorous awkwardness about it.
Yes.
And then again, the book, I just put exclamation with the book. It's like completely forgot about the book.
Mm-hmm.
And then he drops it off on the front doorstep. And And then like he's like the goofy comic relief, but like he brings
That scene's so great. How he's like
where should I
where
leave
he
it?
puts it on the doorstep. Yeah. Yeah, they're he's such a great character, Rickon, because he's just so weird and pretentious. Like the way he talks in that scene, even, which is he does in other scenes too. But
Yeah.
it's just he's funny. But
then it's like it's also like he's so it's almost like he could almost be in another show. Like it's almost like I'm saying, and then it's like, but then like that is broken by then when his wife's like, "Can you hurry up? I gotta pee." Like
yes,
like that moment is like, and then you're like, "Oh, this is a little more grounded." But like he's so weird, but then she like grounds him so much, like from her.
But so going along with that though, really thinking about like, why are these two married? Like they don't, like I don't know. It just
Opposites attract sometimes.
Yeah, but it's just like they're so
different.
very different.
Yeah,
I don't know. So this is a little bit just back a little bit, but
yeah.
something that I didn't remember that I thought was interesting. Two things actually that during that like beginning Mark and PD conversation, kind of an interesting potential world theory thing. PD mentioning that they could potentially be murdering people 8 hours a day at work. That was interesting to think about when he says to him.
He's like, "You don't know what we're doing in there."
Yeah. So like I like that they're still throwing out, like we talked about last week. They're still throwing out like because all the viewers are gonna obviously keep thinking up like potential theories, and so like they're throwing them out on the show even, which I appreciate. And then Mark telling PD, saying he's not going to reintegrate, and he mentions he lost his wife a couple years ago in a car accident, and it just like this is the moment where it just makes so much sense why he did the severance procedure. It's like I totally get it. Like if you could just, not that again we talked about this before, not that like that really helps the healing process, but it's like if you could completely forget about all your pain for 8 hours a day, like so it makes a lot of sense why he went ahead with the procedure. Yeah, but I mean he kind of mentioned that he's like, actually I think I have a, yes I do, this is my other note, it goes along with that, which is like I think one of the best lines in the episode, honestly, and a great way to encapsulate Mark's whole state of mind, I guess. PD's saying to Mark, "You carry the hurt with you. You feel it down there too. You just don't know what it is." It's like perfectly put and I mean, you can use that with other people too. I mean, and potentially in the future too. It's like how much of that is actually separated.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't really, I mean, like he says in that line, like it's affecting them regardless.
Yeah. You're still feeling it. You just don't know where it's coming from.
Just like why they're sometimes tired and not tired. They're like, I don't know why.
Yeah.
But, really dragging the day. And it's like, well, you're outie. You might have not got a good night's sleep. Or was out partying all night and didn't get sleep at all. And then just went to work.
Yeah. I mean, Irv is falling asleep at his desk. Yeah.
And I know I kind of mentioned this already, but like she sneaks into the house, takes the book.
Right.
Because she even has a key. But then she sniffs and steals the candle. Like, what the heck? Such a weird moment.
It is. Yeah, she was very intense about that. Like, sniffing this candle and really, like, staring at it. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, she's a very interesting person anyway, in general.
Well, and then, so we get the, Mark taking the team on a field trip.
Oh, to the Perpetuity wing?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have something about that. I just want to mention just two little things, which I guess happens right before that. But we get another heli attempt that is pretty creative to get a message out
In the bathroom.
with her, on her arms, yeah. Which also that interaction with Mark coming in, he's like, "Get ready, whatever you need to do, I'm coming in."
And Irving's out there like, I listened in.
Yes, yeah, and that's where he comes up with the idea. He's like, if she needs a
to believe
bigger,
in something.
yeah, he's like, and he's so passionate about it. He's like, man, he's like, I don't know, that place is a lot, and he's like, correct. It's so good, yeah. Dylan also just how hostile he is to optics and design, really great too.
Right. So yeah, on the way out, they run into
Yeah, sorry,
in
that's
the
where we were about to
intersection.
go. Yeah,
They run into optics and design, and yeah, he's super hostile. But he also brings the bingo.
yes, he's like, so you don't die of boredom. Yeah,
Which Mark plays along.
he does. Yeah,
And then we get to the wing, and I mean there's like the statues and stuff, but then like the whole house inside the building.
yeah, crazy.
It's crazy. It
Yeah,
reminded me
full
of the,
scale. Yeah,
Remind me of the when I did the what's the place called? And when I was in Dallas earlier this year, did the
I don't know. I can't help you on this one.
yeah, what yeah, there's an experience thing, but anyway, it's like you go in, there's like inside the place is like a house,
Full house, yeah.
inside, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's kind of crazy, but I can't think of what it's called. Anyway,
So, yeah, this is the beginning of it is first. It's just our main. Guess he's the very first Egan, right? Like that started it, right? We got
the different
you have your
CEOs.
quote. Yep,
Yeah.
you have your quote from, which is like the two things written on the wall as you enter the Perpetuity wing. What's the one? Remember man does not decay is the one message on the wall, and the one you said history lives in us whether we learn it or not.
Yeah,
Yes, which it's like I was thinking this time watching it, like those two quotes like technically true and are good statements, but also feel very cultish to the way they're presented.
Yes.
Oh yeah, current CEO, James Egan. By the way, his name, James Egan. Just put an S on your first name. Like, why is it James? I don't know. It bothers me.
And then of course you have to point out the first female CEO.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's so funny because like they say this is supposed to be present day. So like this company, how long was this company around?
They mention it was like mid 1800s.
It's crazy.
I know. Yeah. So it's like, what were they doing then to
Right.
like first before they did doing whatever they're doing now?
Maybe we'll find out.
Maybe. I hope we do.
That'd be crazy if they go like, let's flash back to
That would be awesome.
Lumen in
Yeah.
the 1950s or whatever.
Or even all the way back in 1800s. That would
Yeah.
be insane. Yeah. I mean, they got the Apple budget. They can do whatever.
Apple budget.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Wish I had the Apple budget.
I know, don't we all? Especially after the first season. Like I imagine they had probably an unlimited budget.
Just like whatever you guys want to do.
Yeah, whatever you want to do for the second season, because of how popular this became.
Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, so the Cure house is super.
Yeah.
That's where the quote about sitting on the bed. Were you gonna bed sit?
Yeah, were you gonna bed sit? Yeah.
Um,
And it's so funny how disappointed Irv is when he finds the bingo thing.
yeah, he's like, Mark.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then this gives an opportunity for Helly
Yep.
to run
Yep.
again.
So right before that, though, because they do a quick, as they're walking, a scene of this wall of mouths.
Oh, right.
And I just love Dylan saying, dang, they took down the chick I like. It's like, it's literally just teeth,
Yeah.
is what you're seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, and I love them throwing in things like that. Not only just Dylan's line, just because we talk
But
about
also the weirdness of what it is.
right. You're like, and then she even, because they ask questions that like we would be asking as an audience. She's like, oh, so we are somewhat like dental related, and he's like, no. So like they're asking stuff that
Right.
we're thinking like, why is this here? But yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's interesting. It's just how much they will reveal about this eventually or not,
Right.
or why this is there.
So, but yeah, and then Helly tries to run, and
Yes.
she's trying to break the glass because the door won't open that she goes to. Trying to stick her head out.
Yeah.
Does she throw like a piece of paper with I want out or something like.
Yeah, it's on the bingo thing. Yeah,
She wrote it, and then she's trying to get her outie to see it.
Yeah, which is okay. So I didn't think that, first of all. Like, I was like, why is she like? I thought originally she was trying to just throw it out there, but no, you're right. What you're saying is she wants to reach far enough out there, so then it's her outside self.
That's why she's trying to get her head through the
Yes,
thing.
yeah, which is
Smart.
yeah, very smart. All of her attempts are very.
But also, so that triggers the alarm, and then
Yeah.
we see Milchek is sitting reading the book
Yes, he is. Yeah.
in the conference room,
Mm-hmm.
and he leaves the book there.
Yep. The you are.
I wonder if this book exists.
Man.
I gotta.
Yeah, we gotta see
We gotta
that.
look it up.
Yeah.
See if we can get it.
I mean, it's got to be I don't know. There's got to be at least somewhat, not a whole book, but at least some stuff from like
Yeah.
quotes that are in it.
So, so then this leads after this all they get her. This leads to Helly going to the break room, and this is we
Yes.
get to see a little bit more of what's in the break room.
Yeah, we get a lot more of what actually happens in here. It's yeah, brings a whole new meaning to the word break room for sure.
So it's a little creepy. They're having her repeat stuff. Then he's like, "I don't believe you," and they got like a lie detector test kind of thing on their hand. Yeah, kind of crazy.
Yeah, very old. Like we talked about this before. All the technology is like very tactile. Looks like 70s.
Yeah,
Just an interesting choice. Even though they have this futuristic quote unquote severance procedure, but they're using this old technology.
yeah.
Like the computers. I mean, we talked about that too.
Mm-hmm. And then I just have a note about there's a sequence where I guess they ask if you want me to get the lights, right? They're back in their little office cubicles, and then the way they made the lights go.
So cool.
Yeah, it looks very cool.
It does.
It's not practical. They never actually do that, but like,
Right. Cool effect.
So much work to make it look like that. But then, this is when Mark gets the new photos, and he is going to swap them out in the old photo frames. And when he's one of his photo frames, in the back of it,
Petey's map.
Petey's map.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a great reveal. Even how he does it, where he's even the way they shoot it, him changing out, very monotonous, like just boring
Yeah.
switching out the photos. But then, yeah, this is a big deal. We see a pretty decent amount of the map. Like they show it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So then, and then we get stuff to the outside. Petey's not there, so he goes looking for Petey once he's outside. And of course, we get the stuff with Petey at the convenience store. He's glitching out like crazy.
Yeah. He's even asking for, I need tokens to eat or whatever. Yeah.
And of course, they call the emergency services.
Mm-hmm.
They're all showing up, and then Mark like sees the ambulance and like heads that direction.
Yep.
And then he sees it, which that's even smart. Like to be like, here's a smart reason this guy would be motivated to go that direction, and then actually end up where and
Right,
find
because
him.
he's already wondering where Petey is.
Yep.
And then
But then he sees him at the gas station from a distance, and then he collapses, and so then he heads back to his house. And just as he's cleaning up in the basement, getting ready to leave and turn the lights off, Petey's phone vibrates.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when we cut to black.
Yeah, so Petey may be dead now.
Yeah, I don't remember. I honestly don't remember.
You don't remember? Okay.
I honestly don't remember.
That's great.
I'm like, do we see? I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, looks like he might be dead, but maybe we don't know.
Yeah, maybe. My only last thing is, because we get a little bit more of it, we see it in the first episode, and we see it again here. I don't know if we talked about it yet, and I know you could speak way more onto this, but the camera lens shift when they're going up and down the elevator to actually signify when they switch.
Yeah.
Such a cool effect and such a great use of it. Is it just a shift in the lens, or how are they doing that?
So they're zooming,
because you see their whole face kind of.
Yes. Well, so they're keeping the plane of focus in the same spot.
Okay.
And what they're doing is one direction or the other. They're either zooming in or zooming out, but at the same time as they're zooming in or zooming out on the lens, they're doing the opposite. So if you're zooming out, they're dialing in with the camera, or
that's so cool.
Or they're zooming in with the lenses and dialing back with the camera, one or the other. So then that's why the basic framing doesn't change.
Yeah, if you see like the form of their face,
but
even
the performance.
yeah.
And if you go through and see like what a 20 millimeter to like an 80 millimeter looks like, like a wide lens close to you is going to look, and then but the further away you're going to change, even like the shape of your face will change. And if you see people, you can look it up and see people's different, same person's picture taken, just a photo, and if you look at them all next to you, you're like, oh wow, okay, your face can look skinnier or fatter just by that, and that's basically what they're doing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
it's a really
I'm
cool
sure they're
effect.
doing it also in some kind of motorized, like motorized.
Right, they're not manually
doing it.
Yeah,
motorized, like zoom, and then also focal.
Right, so it's exactly the same every time.
And it can move at the same exact speed.
And I'm sure they're doing stuff in post also. I don't know what, but with it, I guess you wouldn't need to if you're doing all that.
If you nail it like that, like to the point, like it, which it should, if it's all motorized, you can computer control it and say, go from here to here, but then make sure this is, So,
do you know what kind of cameras they are using for this show?
I don't.
Okay, that'd be interesting to find out.
I'll have to maybe
or
look into
specific lenses they're using too.
Look into it a little bit. What they shot this on, what lenses they used, and then of course, is the book real?
Is the book real? That is the number one question.
All right. Well, again, watching this is definitely cementing it as, it's going to be up there now.
Oh yeah.
Like again, no, only one season, so it's hard to. Whereas like
they have a lot to.
You have Mad Men that has like, and the last like season or two were a little rough, but like you have like
good,
you have some really good like 4 or 5 seasons of Mad Men somewhere, and so But anyway.
I'm just saying it's a lot of pressure for season 2.
Oh,
for
yeah.
them.
Yeah, wouldn't want to be them.
But also you want to be them for the Apple money.
I want to be them, but I don't want to be them.
Yeah.
It's just, no, I would love to be a person that's created something that's this so well done.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So, but anyway, here you have it, episode 3 of season 1 of Severance. What are you guys thinking? Are you watching or listening along?
Yeah.
What do you remember? Let us know. Send us an email, feedback@screentimepod, or leave us a comment. Please like and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube, or all 3.
All 3.
We appreciate all of it. And we appreciate you giving us your time of your day to listen or watch.
Yes.
And if you'd like, you can follow each of us on Instagram. I'm at JYoungBar.
And I'm at Jared Youngbar.
All right, catch you guys next time. You're just bringing the same one all the time and not drinking it.
I know. I'm all about this Elden Ring G Fuel. It's really good.
Does it make you play Elden Ring better?
No, I'm already a master at it.
Oh,
I don't need this.
don't need the energy drink to play Elden Ring.
I successfully shepherded 2 people through it already, the whole game. And now one of them through the DLC.
I see. Maybe one day I can be as awesome as you.
And maybe one day you can play through it more because
one day
I want
this
to
all
see you
will be
play.
yours.
Yes.